No denying we are in the end times. Quote, everyone deep in their hearts is waiting for the end of the world to come, end quote, from Mr. Poole years ago. And that's what today's video is all about, guys, exposing what's really going on beyond XRP. But at the end, it truly does connect to XRP because that's how you found about XRP and the Riddlers, okay, for events in the future or the prophecies to fulfill and for you to be prepared for these end times. Because deep in your heart, you are truly waiting for the end time or the end of the world to occur, guys. Okay? Yes, you are. You may not say you are, but you are. Now, so first things first, let's talk about what's really going on with these two nations. Okay, I'm going to crack the code, or we're going to figure out what's really going on here, guys. So, number one, we already know who I'm going to say okay, for Iran. Okay, guys? So, they got a Masonic parliament building, and it's shaped like a pyramid, okay? Not to mention, it has 33 windows, guys. I literally counted it. That's why you see these dots, okay? You see these dots because I counted all the windows. It is 33. Plus, it's shaped like a pyramid. That's over there in okay? Now, the reason why this all connects together, even with XRP, because it's strange how the Riddlers know future events, but they're solely tied to XRP, right? Which is a full-blown ritual, in my humble opinion, for the end of the world to appear. Now, we're going to come to this person right here, from Albert Pike. And he was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite FM, okay? And he was given plans for this to appear, supposedly, okay? Supposedly. He knows the events which will make this appear, guys, okay? Now, I don't know if this is true, but from Lucifer, whom he communicated with via a bracelet and left-hand path occult rituals. Now, I don't even know if I should be saying any of this stuff, guys, okay? I don't know, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Now, House of the Temple, 1 mile exactly due north of this obelisk, okay, in DC. So, the way this person comes into play, guys, okay? Now, I know people know him and stuff like that. Now, supposedly, he wrote or he gave the plans in plain sight of what's really going to occur. And I'm going to read this. I think we talked about this like a year or two ago, but I'm going to read it again because there's much more understanding of where this is all going. Okay, so remember Albert Pike predicted what's happening right now, right? And it's going to accelerate. Would start between the Z and the M's. Okay, so the third war must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the genter. I think that's agents or agencies of these people, okay? Between the political Z's and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and the political Z mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We must unleash the nihilists and atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all of its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose experience will from the movement be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So that's the game plan, it seems as. Okay? And supposedly he got this by contacting a higher spirit. Now, is this true? Is this going to be real? Right? Let's see where this all begins. Right? And it all begins from this one symbol, probably taken from somewhere else a long time ago, right? Ancient times, and even further beyond. Now, actually, wait a second. Before we talk about this, I do want to mention for Mr. Poole, Ragnarok, right? Destruction upon this world. And he warned us, and that's why he's probably here to warn us of future events and timelines. He said, "The phoenix shall rise, but only once the storm is over. You'll remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over." Now, is that really talking about XRP or your soul itself? Think about it, right? The phoenix, which is you and I, shall only rise but once the storm is over, right? We know that the storm connects to XRP in some manner, right? In some fashion it does, but it seems as it goes deeper than just XRP, which XRP was a stepping stone for us to really see beyond the veil of time and space. Okay? So this seems to be going to appear at some point, guys, right? It will. Now, it all comes back to this symbol, I think, because, the Star of David, right, is the same symbol as the FMs. Okay, guys? It's the same symbol as the pyramids, the Pyramid of Giza, right? This is why I think all these symbols were taken from a long time ago from somewhere else, not created by religion itself. Okay, but I don't know if I should say this at all, but I'm gonna say it because we are rebels. You're not a true Jew, you're not a true Freemason unless this symbol appears an inch away from your heart, which activates the promised land. Therefore I am, but I know not of when Jesus will return, since only the Father does. Prophecies of the end times. Okay, let's go over here. And this is the chronological order from these different religions talking about what needs to happen, what needs to occur for, the end of the world to appear, right? And here are a few things. Okay, so basically, biblical prophecies. This book is particularly significant for its detailed prophecies about the end times, including the rise and fall of empires. It's been happening throughout time, right? And the coming of a Messiah. Now, and then it talks about, the anti, right? Or the beast, shall we say, the battle of Armageddon, right? And what we see here, I think it's a precursor to that era, right? Now, I don't know, I do not know of when the end will happen, guys. What I do know of is a feeling of the end. Perhaps, maybe in 24 years, or maybe. Many prophecies predict the return of Christ, a pivotal event in the end times, followed by a new heaven and earth. And then we got the Jewish timeline here, guys. Right? So will this occur or not? Because, throughout time, everyone has stated in their own era that we are at the end times, but it's never happened before. If you look at different prophecies of these different religions, a lot of them have come to pass and are occurring right now, and some will fulfill in the coming years and decades, right? Which, if it is true, then we are definitely at the end, which I do not know of. Sometimes I hope it is, sometimes I hope it's not. But you watching this video, deep, if you search inside your heart, you want the end to appear. Why? Because everyone does, it seems as. In the end, we are living in some type of illusion, so why not, right? May we wake up. A central belief in Jewish thought age is a future of era global peace and widespread knowledge of God. Okay, and we see a few different interpretations, guys, right? A glimpse into the future and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff, right? All I know is I've heard and seen things and feel things, but otherwise, let us explore further. Now, supposedly, Country Bluff or County Bluff comes about on June 11th, 2025. Wait a second. This was before. Wait, this was a day before, wasn't it? Right? Because the things happened yesterday. This was a day before the events appeared. Wow. Insane stuff, guys. So yeah, there are definitely people that are in the know, guys. Okay, about future events, it seems as. Then on June 5th, he tweeted out this, right, or like posted on YouTube, it seems, with all these columns and talks on negotiation. It says unstable proceedings, enrichment level, 60% declared, 70% plus undeclared, aggressive action on a certain location or coordination. Though it seems as the Riddlers always knew, though, right? I believe those that closely followed the Riddlers are 589 steps ahead. Ripple Riddler wormhole. Who's the trigger? I is. This was from Sam X and Ham a long time ago.
Ancestor to the Persians, who are the Iranian people. Now, as I've been digging into this, a lot of what's coming really seems to be centered around this new payment network that's coming out in Europe. There's a lot of components to it, and Ripple is just all over it. And so I think what we're being told here is that, you know, there's a series of events, dominoes that have been set in motion that's going to bring about this transformational change, and Iran is going to be the trigger, and that is the sanctions that the U.S. is trying. The ancestor.
So there you guys go, right? Again, it comes down to mythology, supposedly, right? Which is for in fact real, right? And then here's another few tweets that Mr. Poole tweeted out about the end times. Okay, we got S into play, and then from Donald Trump, blatantly says it, blatantly, right? Following the prophecies to be fulfilled. Watch the ME as the event begins when you least expect it. Okay? From Mr. Poole, and then he told everyone to stay indoors because maybe you don't want to, you know, leave Earth too soon before the climax appears. Stay indoors. 316 can come out to 613 here. Interesting, isn't it? It would be a nice weekend to just stay at home, right? Look at this one as well. 613, 316, right? Reverse 613, the opposite, destruction. And it did appear, right? It did appear. If you look throughout the news right now, 613 as well. So it seems to me as the world will just be getting more of a storm. Okay? The world will be becoming more storm-like. Lightnings everywhere, guys. This to me looks like Donald Trump perhaps, or maybe this represents you and I looking at the storm, right? And only then the phoenix will rise after it. So I'll prepare. I most definitely will. I mean, we're talking about literal events, guys. Geomagnetic storms are exploding as well. Like, actually, everything seems to be accelerating as we speak. The fountain for today's video comes from Baba Cook's Checkmate. About what? I don't know, but it seems like this event, the events that are happening right now, are for a specific purpose in the future to unfold. Not financial advice, not anything advice, not life advice, not spiritual advice, not anything advice. Let us prepare for the end. What do you say, Sophie? See ya.